Welcome to the Rebecca Paisley Healing YouTube channel where we discuss all things Ayurveda, yoga, mental health, wellness. Today we're going to chit-chat a little bit instead of doing a practice. I want to throw some of these educational excerpts in here so you can learn a little bit more about yoga, its principles, what it's founded on, and all of that. We have Duke here who might get a little rambunctious and want to play, and we'll just keep on trucking through the show and let him be a wild man. So today we're going to talk about attachment and what that is and how it shows up in your life and what that can mean to you. So non-attachment in yoga is translated to Aparigraha. This is non-hoarding, non-greed, not taking anything more than what you need, letting everything be spread out evenly so everybody gets a chance to have what they need. Nobody goes without. And this principle has been showing up a lot in my life recently, a lot of having to let go and not realizing just how attached I was to certain things. And it's been really eye-opening to see what attachments do to you. In all reality, everything that we accumulate is just a debt, because now we're creating these attachments that we claim we can't live without this coffee, we can't live without the car, we can't live without the cannabis, we can't live without whatever the thing is, and that means you're attached. You're in debt to that thing because you need it or you think you need it. And in a book that I've read recently called The Secret Power of Yoga by Nishala Joy Devi, she puts it as debt is what we really accumulate when we amass all the so-called necessities we could not possibly live without. And then she goes on later in another paragraph and states, spiritual wealth is the only wealth that sustains us. And when we venture deep within, we are millionaires. So you don't need the money. You don't need the car. You don't need the glasses. You don't need any of the things, because everything that you need is inside of you. So being attached to the relationship, to the job, to the animal or the dog, the cat, all these things make you feel like you're a millionaire because they're external and you can see them and you can hold them and you can touch them and they feel really real. But they're going to disappear at some point in time. So cultivating that spiritual wealth, going within, taking time to look within and connect to that inner peace, that inner love, that inner knowing, that's true wealth. That's where you're not attached to the stuff that's going on around you because you already feel like a millionaire internally. You already feel like you have everything that you could possibly need within you. And when you come out into the world from a place of that thinking, you can have all of the things in the world, but you're not sad or grieving when you lose those things. Grief is what happens when you lose the attachment. You have to grieve the loss of whatever you were attached to, whether that's a marriage, a person that died, an animal, maybe it's your favorite necklace. I mean, all of these things are impermanent. Everything is impermanent. Nothing is permanent in this world. The only thing that's permanent is the inner soul, that inner consciousness. Everything else is fluff. So having that inner knowing and cultivating the inner knowing that you are enough just as you are, nothing extra is needed to make you cool or famous or happy. It's all in you. And once you realize that, a lot of things start to shift. And you start only taking what you need because you're not looking for external happiness. That's a huge thing. Stop looking outside of yourself for happiness because it's never going to come. It's not happening if you just keep looking for the next thing outside of you, because that thing is going to disappear, and then you're going to want another thing, and that's going to disappear, and then you're going to want another thing, and that's going to disappear, and it goes on and on and on and on. But if you just look within yourself, you will see that you have everything that you need. There is nothing more to be had. You are everything. And so sitting and meditating and connecting to your higher self is a huge part of becoming unattached to things and seeing the abundance that already exists within yourself. So practicing meditation is big. And just to go a little bit more deeper on the attachment side of things, is also accepting gifts from people and taking those gifts. That person could be attached to you, also returning the favor. And then these things create havoc in between people, because now there's unmet expectations, and there's also a side of you that's like, well, do I have to give her something? I'm not really, you get this back and forth. And so that's what happens. Another quote that I really like comes out of the translation of the Yoga Sutras by Sir Swami Satchidananda. And he says, when our mind becomes this calm and clear, by being free of desires and obligations, we gain the capacity to see how our desires caused our present birth. We directly see the cause and effect relationship because we are detached from it. We are no longer bound up with it. So as you detach yourself from pets, from relationships, from jobs, from all these things, your thinking starts to clear up because you're not attached to these things. And you're not desiring more things. You're not feeling obligated to do things out of decency. You're not attached to the correct behavior of things. You really, truly gain this reflection of like, oh, I'm here because this is all the work I had to do. All of the things I had to do to undo these attachments, to rewrite the story and realize that I am enough. We're back here to learn that we are enough with ourselves, with everything in us is enough just on its own. As long as you can breathe and you're alive, you're enough. And even when you pass away and move on to the next phase of your life or the next phase of your journey, you are enough. You're everything. You're everything, and everything is inside of you. And so when we start to realize this, the desires start to fade away. We no longer need the newest iPhone. We no longer need the latest updated car model or the new stereo system. We're just happy with what we have. And when the new things come along, that's great, and we welcome them because we deserve to have new, nice things. But you're not attached to it. If the new car gets wrecked, okay, that's fine. On to the next thing. If the marriage crumbles to shreds, okay, it served its purpose. Time to reconnect to the self and really figure out what you're doing here on your own. And reconnecting to the self to let go of the attachments of maybe when you were married, all you thought was being a wife or a husband. And so you're attached to that identity. Now you have to create a new identity. And what if you didn't have to create an identity? What if you just accepted yourself exactly as you are? Let go of the attachments, let go of everything holding you back, and just see that divine light that's inside of you. And realize that light can carry you through all the way to the end of this journey of life in this body. The body is just a vehicle. The mind is just a vehicle. It is your inner self, that inner peace and love knowing that is continuous, that continues to go on time and time again, learning the lessons, learning again how to let go, how to detach, how to be content, how to live in alignment with nature. We get deluded, and so we get sent back, and we keep coming back until the delusion fades away. And that delusion is that we are the wife, we are the worker, we are the employee, we are only here to make some money and live and die, so enjoy it while you can. We're letting go of these illusions. You're attached to the story. You're attached to the identity. It all comes back to being attached. Attachment defines so many things. It doesn't even have to be a dog or a physical thing. Your identity, you could be attached to your emotions. All these things are attachments that you have to start looking at and letting go of. Why are you attached to it? What purpose is it serving you? And what happens if it disappears out of your life? Are you content still or not? And that's what you have to start looking at. So stop seeking happiness from external things. Stop trying to put on a face. Just start seeking happiness from the spot truest to yourself. And really make friends with uncertainty. Because the only thing in life that is permanent is change, is uncertainty, is things changing. We want to think we know exactly what's going to happen next second, the next second, the next second, but we have no freaking clue. We have no clue. Someone could barge in my door right now and I wouldn't be expecting it. I would have thought I'd be finishing this video. Something could fall out of the sky, a meteor could hit Hawaii tomorrow and annihilate the entire island. I mean, we don't know. You have no idea. Sure, we have predictions, but the weather predictions change every day. They change as fast as I breathe. So, they're just predictions. They don't know. They don't have a clue. We're all just assuming and attaching ourselves to that assumption when really we need to just live in the moment. Be present with exactly what is happening right now, right here. Don't expect the next thing. Enjoy the moment. And you can do this when you start practicing mindfulness to increase your awareness around your own thought patterns and emotional behaviors. Practicing mindfulness, just being aware of your thoughts, taking 5 or 10 minutes to sit and just watch your thoughts and become familiar with what is up there. Are you attached to these thoughts? Do you constantly think, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm lazy, I'm crazy? Like whatever the thought is, why are you so attached to that negative thought? Let it go. Welcome in a new thought. It doesn't have to be so negative and gloomy all the time. Everything changes in time. So even the sad points are going to be happy at one point in time. The happy points are going to be sad at some point in time. Everything is shifting. So being attached to one thing or the other just creates pain in the body and the mind because it's going to disappear eventually. Everything disappears eventually. And the more that we understand this reality, that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end to everything, the more we can rest in our spiritual heart, in our soul, the only thing that's permanent. So practicing meditation, making friends with uncertainty, stop looking for happiness outside of you, and really start connecting to your higher self. Because the more that you connect internally and feel that warm blanket, that warm embrace that your soul can have on you, the more often in daily life you can rest in that space of inner knowing and peace and love. And that's what it's all about, is resting in that space and flowing through life with ease. So that's my little short message for you today, and I hope that you can take it with you and start releasing some of your attachments and just live in the moment. Everything's going to change and shift. Everything's going to transform. Embrace what's here right now in this time because it's going to change in a moment, in a second. All the time, shifting and changing. If you want to connect more, you can find me on Instagram at Rebecca__Paisley. You can find me on TikTok at the same handle, Rebecca__Paisley. You can also check out my website and do one-on-one consults at rebecca-paisley.com. And if you're looking to make more non-toxic living choices, feel free to check out my shop, elementalwellnessshop.com, to stock up on all your favorite soaps and skincare products that are vegan and organic. I hope to see you next time. If you enjoyed this episode, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. We try to put on almost daily episodes, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.